Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Aftertaste LA. I'm Nicole,
And I'm Vlad.
and this week we'll be discussing our meal at Manuela in downtown Los Angeles.
Manuela opened October 2016 in downtown LA. They also have a New York location, and executive chef Chris Tobinaga is the chef of both. They are located inside the Hauser and Wirth Gallery Complex in the Arts District, and the kitchen is a big open space with lots of art and industrial building vibes. It has a lot of seasonal cuisine, Southern Californian. They grow their own vegetables. They have their own chickens. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. First thing I notice from the street, the big complex, you enter it through this stairway into what opens up into a big courtyard.
Yeah.
And this building used to be a flour
Oh, you have flour mill?
mill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big industrial building.
They did flour there.
Yeah.
Lots of exposed brick, lots of metal accents. I mean, is it really an accent if it's like part of the original
Yeah,
part of the
it was
building?
cool seeing the kind of original, bones
Yeah.
of the industrial side of it being transformed. A lot of art everywhere. It just felt like you were, inside of a contemporary art museum.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that as we were going for dinner, most or all of the galleries, and they have a bookshop in there, they're all closed.
Closing.
So we were not able to go into there. But I did look online. It looks like they have a couple of exhibits up. I love that they have the garden in the middle, and I saw online that they have special garden drinks, which are large format drinks like sangria or a 6-pack of beer and stuff like that, that if you're with your larger party, you can just pick these up and go sit in the garden and enjoy them, which is pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to do that and go back. I think by the time that we were wrapping up dinner and we saw that garden, it was dark.
Yeah.
And there was a private event in there, so we couldn't access it when we went.
I was so sad we couldn't visit the chickens.
Definitely, if you are planning on going there for lunch, you got to go check out the chickens and say hi to the chickens. Because how many restaurants have their own chickens?
Not all that many, especially in LA proper.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, we didn't order anything with an egg on it.
That's true. Or in it.
Yeah. Okay, next time we'll have to go back. Because they use their own chicken's eggs on the menu.
Well, we should go back for brunch,
Yes.
which also seems to be something that they are known for, kind of. We went for dinner, which is its own experience, but I would love to try brunch, and brunch is eggs.
Yeah. So when I went to eat at Manuela in New York, and I went for lunch. And it was a great meal, great experience in New York. So super excited to see and compare. And I know already that the lunch experience is a good experience at Manuela.
So how does the restaurant layout differ from LA to New York?
Size-wise, the New York location is huge. I would say the same size, if not bigger. But they don't have an outdoor space. They don't have the garden. They don't have the chickens. It's Manuela. They have the wood fire oven, but they don't have all the art and all the other cool stuff that we have in this, main location.
Yeah. Though this location seemed quite large.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
But it's helpful for a restaurant. You have this built-in clientele because people are going there to look at the art. They're going there to look at the shops. And I think it's a really smart location for any restaurant. Whoever pitched this idea, they knew what they were doing. This is a gorgeous space. They already have all this pre-made historic stuff in there to build around.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a decent job of that. There's a lot of really cool art inside the restaurant, the main dining room. It feels industrial. I actually thought the dining room itself was pretty awesome, pretty cozy and inviting and loud. It wasn't completely full in there. It was Friday night. but a little bit earlier. We went around 6:45. Our reservation was. We got there a little earlier.
But it never filled up entirely. But again, it's a huge place, so I'm like,
Yeah,
it's not surprising.
I would say half the dining room was full and half of the outdoor patio was also full, and then they had a private event in the garden. Now, one thing that did break my heart, they have a chef table. They have a big open kitchen with a wood fire oven. You could see the fire. Not a single person was sitting on the chef's counter, and the whole night it was empty.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because that's one of the best seats you can have in a restaurant experience. It's dinner and a show. Before we move on,
Yes.
what are we drinking today?
We are drinking a gin martini, very dry.
Extremely. How we like it.
With a twist.
The classic.
Very simple, straightforward.
Yep.
Gin martini.
We had mostly wine, but I think it's a martini kind of place. I can go there and just have a martini, sit at the bar. What did we think about the cocktail menu?
I have mixed feelings about the cocktail menu.
Okay.
Some of them seem really interesting. Like the one mixed drink that we got was the honeydew me, which had honeydew melon, sotol, and soursop liqueur, lemon, melon salt, and pickled rind. And it was definitely very interesting. I ordered it because I liked the thought of the sotol, which isn't used all that much, and the soursop as well.
Yeah.
So that was I felt like it was quite creative and very cool.
Delicious, seasonal.
Yeah.
Fit the theme of what they're going for.
And I also thought it was a great recommendation from our server. I told her the kind of drinks I like. I told her I like spirit forward. I like sour, not too sweet. And she steered me towards this, and it was a great pick.
Yeah, I thought it was delicious.
On the flip side of that, there's about half the drinks on the menu that are basically a classic cocktail with something added, just a little bit different. Which, I am almost at that point, I just want a classic one.
Yeah.
They have a full bar, clearly well-staffed, and, if I'm going to have a Manhattan, I just want to order the Manhattan. I was just expecting a little bit more creativity across the board.
Yeah.
It felt like some were very interesting and some were very safe.
I can't say that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Especially for this restaurant, they're a wine restaurant. They were recognized by Wine Spectators. They got an award of excellence in wine.
Yeah.
So that's what they're really going for. That's where they're putting their foot forward. They have the cocktails for everyone. This isn't necessarily a place known for their drinks.
That's true.
Other restaurants in town that really have a in-depth bar program. So yes, the menu was a tad on the dull side at times.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I don't necessarily think that's a negative knock on them. It is kind of a big cocktail menu. They also have 4 mocktails, and they're actual mocktails, not some sort of juice with soda, which a lot of mocktail menus are just, non-alcoholic beverages, but they're not a mocktail. They're not a thing that's been created and there's a recipe, So I did appreciate that. At least they're trying.
Yeah. They had 4 or 5.
4. But the wine list was pretty good. I stuck to wine.
Yeah.
I had a really nice skin contact Albarino and then a classic Cabernet during my meal.
Yeah.
You want to move on to the food?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this menu.
Yes. What did you think?
I love Manuela's menu structure. And it was a similar experience in New York, even though the New York menu and the LA menu completely different. They had maybe 2 or 3 items that were the same, but for the most part, these are 2 completely different restaurants. I love that. There's a lot more they're doing, but the framework of what the dishes are kind of the same. They have little small plates to share. They have a couple of house-made breads. The biscuits is the one thing that they're known for that both locations did have, and I ordered them in New York, and I made sure to order them here. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. But then they have about 5 or 6 salads and then a bunch of what they call plates or entrees. And it's kind of a big array of stuff. Shellfish, meat, fish, burgers. There's just something for everyone on this menu. There's a couple of vegetable sides that are mostly seasonal. And it's kind of a fun menu. Like there's you can bring a group of 6 people here. Everyone is going to find something on this menu that is going to appeal to them.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
I heard the guy next to us asking for not seafood, and the server was like, absolutely, like, we got you. We have many options in like every situation.
And I feel like this menu, I don't know what their lunch menu looks like. I imagine there's a lot of similarities. There might be a sandwich or two on the lunch menu, but this could be a lunch menu. I would order a lot of these items for lunch.
Yeah. This is also what I love about Californian cuisine, which I feel like can sometimes be a nebulous term. Like it's kind of hard to pin down what it is. But one thing that I think is emblematic of it that I love is there's always options for vegetables. You're not going to go to a meal and be like, I had no fiber. You're not going to feel that way because some places are like that.
Yeah.
And I really do love that we have that here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's part of the reason why we wanted to go try Manuela. It is this kind of quintessential Californian restaurant that is really looking towards the ingredients and doing the right things to them and using what is at its best of the year.
Yeah.
And added bonus, they're growing some of it. And I did notice a lot of the dishes that we had, there was like some garnishes and stuff that clearly was grown in-house. And it's always nice to have that element. It feels a little bit more personal. It feels a little bit more of the earth. And yeah, there's farm to table, and I think that's a little bit dated, but there's something about that still feels good if it's not pretentious, and it didn't feel pretentious.
It definitely didn't. And I like to think that we've entered a new era in that farm to table thing where it's less performative and more about what can each of us do as an individual, as a business, as a restaurant to limit the amount of energy and pollution that it takes to get food on your plate, whatever that means. The idea of it being harvested literally next door and being brought to the kitchen is just so wonderful to have that. To have that choice as a diner, to know that that's part of what they're doing.
I think the movement that Dan Barber in New York started with Bluestone Farm and Row 7 Seeds, which is this company that is designing and growing vegetables for flavor. And that idea is becoming a lot more popular. And now we're starting to see those products in grocery stores. Even Whole Foods has this, selection that you didn't have before that is vegetables and fruits and products that are grown for flavor and not grown for this mass production. And we need that too. We need both.
Yeah.
But to have the choice is pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say for any one of us, can be expensive to make those choices, to consume that. But even doing it once a year, twice a year, whatever you can do is still worth it.
Yeah, I mean, special occasions, you're doing a big family dinner or something like that, spring for the really good quality, locally grown vegetable. And I mean, the added thing in California, we have amazing farmers markets. We're spoiled. And any day of the week, we can go and buy locally grown vegetables and talk to the people that are growing our food, ask them what to do with it, ask them when it's best. It's a really great thing.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we love to live here.
Yeah, it really is.
So with that being said, let's talk about some of the stuff that we had. Okay. And first thing that came to our table was this tomato salad.
Yes. As we have discussed before, tomato salad is everywhere right now.
Yep.
It is the end of summer, so it's almost impossible to avoid it. Not that we would want to, because they are delicious in general. This one was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. This was summer on a plate.
Yeah.
They had these awesome lemon cucumbers, fresh tomatoes, some fresh torn mint, and then this burnt eggplant dressing. It's more of a cream with buttermilk
Yeah.
on the bottom and a ton of sumac and chili. It was spicy. It was vibrant. It was a great salad. And the server was right to recommend it. We were between this and getting the burrata, which also had tomatoes, but that was kind of a larger portion. So we went with this tomato dish, which is a little bit smaller, perfect for 2 or 3 people, I would say. Even 4 if you're getting a bunch of other things. I thought it was delicious.
I thought it was a smart dish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a classic combo is a regular cucumber with regular tomato, right? Like Greek salad, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a classic combo. Changing it out for the lemon cucumber, which is a bit like harder. I prefer regular cucumber in general, but here, this lemon cucumber worked fantastically.
Yeah. Delicious.
And the eggplant cream, buttermilk cream, was so good.
Yeah.
And what was was that the sumac on top that I'm looking at here?
Yeah, I think there was some like Urfa chili on there as well. It was just really, kind of like a fattoush salad, but it didn't have, the one thing I would like is maybe a little bit of bread. Because that's just me, like dip a little.
Sop it up at the end.
Yeah, with the eggplant cream. It was delicious.
Well, you could have saved a biscuit for that.
Yeah, it was really difficult to save those biscuits. Okay, so the next thing that we had was a smoked albacore dip with these Carolina Gold rice crackers.
I liked some things about this, and I found some things wanting. Mainly, the acid level was not correct for me.
Yeah.
But that was quickly remedied with our lime that came with something we'll talk about in a little bit, our oysters. So with the addition of that, it was really good. The flavor of the fish, the smokiness of it was lovely. The crackers, I'm not sure about.
Okay.
They were a bit thin. I don't think they held up well to scooping.
I liked the crackers, personally. Flavor, it was a rice cracker, house-made rice cracker. My take on this, the dip was good. It was a little too broken up. I kind of want my, smoked fish dips to be a little chunkier.
Yeah,
that's a personal preference.
You want to see the fish in it?
I want this dip on a bagel in the morning for breakfast. I don't want it for dinner. That's where I'm at. I thought it was tasty. I love the smoke flavor. You could really taste like the in-house smoke. This wasn't like something that they bought that was pre-smoked and then they whipped it together. Like they smoked this with their wood fire grill, and I thought it was really tasty. The rice crackers were good, although I think it is sacrilege to take Carolina Gold rice and turn it into a rice cracker. But, that's a real chefy thing for me to say. It's just a really good, high-quality rice, and to pulverize it into this rice cracker seemed a little wasteful, especially since you don't really taste the Carolina Gold rice in it. Once you turn it into this cracker, it just tastes like rice cracker. I don't think it necessarily has a better flavor because it's a Carolina Gold rice cracker. The beauty of a Carolina Gold rice dish is the texture of the rice. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And you lose that here. So they could have used any rice cracker. It probably would have been the same. I think it's good to order if you're with a big group and you just want something to snack on at the bar with your drink, but I'd probably skip it next time.
Yeah, I agree. So next we had the barbecued oysters, which had some corn in there, some poblano, cilantro, lime, kind of like an elote baked oyster.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Why are they called barbecued oysters? Aren't they baked oysters?
They have a wood fire oven, so likely they're doing these straight on the grill.
Okay, so that's why they're called barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get that smoke flavor.
Exactly, yeah. But, I didn't get a whole lot of smoke flavor in these. These were just okay for me. I thought the oysters were a little overcooked, to be honest. And I didn't like that they didn't give us a tool to eat them with, so I had to use my normal fork. It was not a huge oyster. So I would have liked to just have a tool. That's just a nitpicky thing. I like what they were going for with the elote and the corn flavors. I just didn't come out all that much. It didn't taste like corn or
I was
elote.
going to say, did you get the corn? 'Cause
No.
I feel like I was missing it.
Yeah, I think I almost would have rather they not put the breadcrumbs
Mm-hmm.
and incorporated some other corn element into it because I just didn't taste the corn.
Yeah.
It tasted good. It tasted like a cooked, grilled oyster like I've had before, and the corn butter was nice, but none of it it didn't really taste like an oyster, and it didn't really taste like corn.
Yeah.
So I think they need to figure out, who's winning that battle. They do have a cold oyster dish on the menu as well, so I think next time I would just go for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how the set changes, maybe in the wintertime it'll be better. Now let's talk about the biscuits.
What you were waiting for all day. Is that correct
Absolutely.
to say?
I don't know how you improve on these.
So these are the exact same as what they have in New York.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense that they would have them at both places if they're perfect.
Every table had this on their table.
Yeah.
You get 3, which is not enough because I don't care how many they give you. It's not going to be enough. They're delicious.
They were really good.
They're a perfect biscuit. They give you country ham and this whipped butter that is the kind of creamiest and lightest whipped butter I've seen.
So light and airy.
It's like sauce.
It's almost liquidy. Yeah.
Yeah, but holds its structure perfectly and
just
melts
enough
on this really warm biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is worth going to this restaurant just to try these.
Wow.
They're delicious. Have you had a better biscuit in town?
Probably not. I can't think of one.
I mean, look, I make pretty good biscuits, but my biscuits are not as good as these biscuits. A little backstory. So this restaurant, it opened in 2016. The original chef that opened it, he was only there for the first year, and then Chef Chris took over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whose recipe this is, but I imagine this is someone's grandma's recipe that they put on this menu because they knew how good it would be, like opening this restaurant, and this has to go on the menu. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the first menu items that they had, and it hasn't changed since, and it shouldn't change. It's delicious.
No notes.
The only note is if you are with 4 people, there's only 3. And they didn't tell us in advance how many come. It doesn't say it on the menu how many come with it. So if you're with 4 people, inquire about getting a 4th piece or just order 2 orders. You will not be upset if you order 2.
And this with the wine.
Hey, I eat this with anything.
Yeah, but wine and meat and butter,
Yeah, and I love
biscuit,
country ham.
bread.
Smoky, kind of like speck. I don't think anyone should come to Manuela that eats bread and not order that. We were between that and the cornbread. I think if we were with a group or with 2 other people, we would have ordered both. I always encourage ordering the bread that the place makes.
Yes.
It's amazing. I don't think you should ever skip on that. So the New York location didn't have cornbread, but it did have this. So it was mostly like, oh, let me see if they can do something else. But at the end, it was hard to not let you have this to try.
Yes.
And look at this perfect bite you built.
Yes. It was really delicious.
Yeah. And it was not skimpy on the ham.
On the butter.
Which I appreciate. Yeah. You didn't run out of anything except for biscuit, and then you were sad.
That is a pet peeve of mine when you order some sort of special bread.
Yeah.
And they only give you a teeny thing of butter, which I understand. It's labor intensive if they're making it or whipping it.
It's expensive.
I get it. But I would pay more,
You can always ask for more butter, honey.
Yeah. Well, I do. I do.
So before we move on to the next dish, I wanted to rewind a second and talk about that oyster dish and the lime and what we used it for, because we never came back to it. So we notoriously will steal elements from one dish and incorporate it into other things that we've ordered if we feel that they are lacking or need enhancement. So we took the lime and we put a bunch of the lime juice from the oysters on the whitefish dip to kind of brighten it up a little bit because it was very creamy and a little bit mayo-y. Yeah. And we wanted more acidity because we're acid freaks. Not the drug, the food. But I encourage anyone, when you are going out to eat and you order a bunch of stuff, play around with some of the elements and add it to other things. I think it's a fun way to, make it your own.
I will literally steal lemon wedges or little sauce bowls off of plates that we're finished with to make sure that they're not taken away for the next course, because you never know what you might use.
I mean, oftentimes it's with salad where I want a little bit more lemon or acidity. That is a good one. Any kind of fish dish.
Yeah, that's
if they don't, if it doesn't come with lemon, or if you feel like it needs a little bit, it's a little too rich, put a little lemon on there.
And the problem is you don't know that before you take a bite. So when they bring out, your fish or whatever, you can't just be like, "Can I have lemon?" Because then you might not need it if it is correctly acided.
Yeah, and we're not ones to send food back for something small like that or ask for additional things. So it's just fun to figure it out, on the fly. So those were our appetizers, and then they cleared our plates, reset us, which I love. Sometimes they don't do that.
Yes.
And that drives me nuts where they don't change the plates in between courses. They did that. Let's talk about the main.
Okay.
We had the pork chop and the chicken. Pork chop was with grilled peaches, and they had some like pea sprouts on top that I'm pretty sure that they grow in-house, like some pea vines. And the pork chop itself was a bone-in pork chop, wood grilled with a ton of fennel in this rub that they use. It was just really, really like pungent and flavorful. And the cook on this pork was absolute perfection.
It really was.
I think it was a great dish. The one thing for me is the peaches or the nectarines, I think, themselves, which are kind of grilled. I would like to have a little bit more char on those, and I want them to be a little bit smaller.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's basically one whole nectarine cut into 4.
Yeah. No, it's not even.
Or half?
It's half. And that was the other thing I was going to say. It would have been nice to have them in smaller pieces, so it was easier to pair them with a piece of meat. For me, I love to craft a perfect bite.
Yeah.
So,
I hear you.
I don't want to have to go back and forth. And then the other thing was there really wasn't enough ratio-wise, at least for me. I don't know. Maybe I just like.
You mean meat to nectarine?
Yeah, I wish there was more nectarine.
I think if they had cut them into those bite-sized pieces, it would have been enough because they sliced the pork.
Yeah.
Right? It's a nice pre-sliced, you got the bone, and then you just give these 4 big chunks of nectarine.
Mm-hmm.
So cut each one of those into 3, and now we have 12 pieces of meat and 12 pieces of nectarine, and it would have worked a little bit better.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, but flavor-wise, the way that it was prepared, I thought this was great.
Yeah, I loved the rub on this. I kept taking tastes from the bone that they left on the plate because I just really enjoyed it.
I gnawed the hell out of that bone at the table. No regrets.
We're savage.
Look, if someone you're eating with, you order something bone in, it's like date 2 or 3, and they, pick up the bone and gnaw on it. If you don't think that's awesome, it's probably not going to work out.
Yeah.
If someone disapproves of gnawing on the meaty bone in the middle of the restaurant, they probably are unhappy.
Oh. Okay.
A joyless individual who doesn't understand what pure joy is. And you know what pure joy is? Gnawing on a piece of meat bone in the middle of a busy restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
That is perfection.
All right. What did you think of the chicken?
This is one of the dishes that is on the menu in New York.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a different set in New York that had kind of more of like an herb oil thing, but the description, it still had that like white barbecue sauce. And it's a half chicken, wood grilled, crispy skin. They took all but one of the bones out. It's got some white barbecue sauce underneath, a grilled lemon, a couple of watermelon radish, some Swiss chard. It looks visually so, you get excited to eat it. Visually it looks great, but it was really dry and really overcooked.
I could not eat more than one bite of this dish.
Now, let's pretend that it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about the dish as if the chicken was cooked well. Because let's say it was just that one piece. We got unlucky. They were busy. They dried our piece out, whatever the case may be. If it was cooked perfectly, I still kind of have gripes with it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I have gripes with it was the sauce itself, the white barbecue sauce. This was not white barbecue sauce. This was a kind of a mayo.
Yeah.
It was not a barbecue sauce texture, and it was too rich. And the one in New York was much lighter and looser and overall better. You know, this is a grilled piece of half chicken, but there isn't really much else to it. You know, the watermelon radish was too big and a little too thick, and it's just like these two pieces that are hanging out there undressed and kind of boring.
Kind of how I felt about the Swiss chard. There's 2 leaves.
Yeah, clearly this is something they're growing at this garden.
Yeah.
And it was really great and great flavor, but nothing felt seasonal about it.
Yeah, I guess we're out of season for Swiss chard, right?
Yeah, you know, it just didn't feel like it fit the restaurant. I know they have this half chicken on the menu year round, and I'm sure the set changes a little bit, but they could play around with the set a little bit more. You know, let's forgive that they overcooked it, you know, because the one in New York was not overcooked. I did taste what it's supposed to taste like. It was juicy, it was delicious, and felt a little bit more summery and more vibrant. This one did not feel summery.
Do you remember what came with that one?
It was very similar to this. There was no Swiss chard. It was more of like this kind of salsa verde, like herb oil.
And was it
around
on top or just round?
It was mostly around, a little bit on the chicken, but for the most part, it was just like a really good piece of grilled chicken on a plate with a little bit of that, a little bit of the barbecue sauce underneath. You know, a lot of people are going to order this to have chicken. It's one of the more popular dishes. If the chicken was cooked well, at least you're getting a good piece of chicken. The skin was really crisp and it was brined and seasoned nicely. I just, you know, everything else about the accompaniments was not hitting for me.
Yeah.
I think they need to go a little bit more with what they are known for, which is this hyper seasonal Southern Californian flair.
I'd almost enjoy, like, I don't mind Swiss chard. I would almost enjoy just a little bit more of it so it didn't feel so out of place, you know, maybe on the side or like, I don't know, under it, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I love Swiss chard with chicken. In the wintertime, a little braised Swiss chard in there, it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, like it doesn't fit right now. And it didn't fit the rest of the meal, which seemed, you know, pretty seasonal. You had the corn.
Yeah. So as an accompaniment to our mains, we got a couple of veggie side dishes, which both ended up being a form of beans, which was not totally on purpose. So first we had the dragon tongue beans, and I love these beans because they're just really pretty, have great color to them. If you're not familiar with them, they're kind of a light green to light yellow background, and then they have these like purple flashes up and down them.
It's kind of like cheetah.
Kind of cheetah-like, yeah. Just really cool looking, and I have to imagine they're full of all these really good vitamins and minerals because that's how you get those bright colors.
Yeah. Well, they do kind of disappear when you cook them.
Yeah. Which, you know.
That's fine.
Yeah. Still cool.
Sure.
So this dish was the beans, and then you had like an spicy anchovy kind of paste, as well as a vinaigrette of some type, right? I want to say scallion vinaigrette.
It was like a burnt scallion vinaigrette.
And pepitas on top. And yeah, I really liked this, especially the spicy anchovy underneath. I thought it was a nice accompaniment to the beans. And the beans were cooked very nicely, still had a crunch to them, not mushy at all.
They were cooked really well. They had a nice texture. The anchovy condiment and the pepitas, the vinaigrette, it all came together really nicely. It was a little bit spicy. It had a good texture. I thought it was a bit silly that they gave us a steak knife for them.
It did seem kind of like overkill.
Yeah, but like they gave us a steak knife and not an actual like spoon or something, or like a fork to like spoon it onto your plate. These were great.
Yeah.
You know, great vegetable side. I think that oftentimes, you know, vegetable sides or sides go unnoticed on restaurants like this. And I think they're oftentimes like some of my favorite things that end up being ordered. and things that I don't take home with me. I always finish them because they're delicious.
Yeah.
And these were great. I don't know. I think they paired with what we ordered too, like with chicken or pork chop. They also had a duck breast on the menu, and this would have been a great little addition to the duck breast.
Mm-hmm.
The other two sides that we didn't order were the cauliflower and the potatoes, which to me, those are not really necessarily summery.
No.
And, we wanted the more kind of fresh and vibrant stuff.
Yeah.
So these were great. And the other thing we got was the blistered snap peas. There was some feta. There was this sesame date butter, some fresh torn mint, and some crispy quinoa.
Yeah.
Not too blistered.
There were only one or two that were blistered.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the dragon tongue beans were much more blistered.
Yeah, which I like. I love the burnt pieces.
Yeah, me too. I wish they were more blistered.
Yeah.
But the bite to them was good. Like, they were cooked correctly.
Yeah, cooked very perfectly.
Yeah.
And I love snap peas, sweet, crunchy. I didn't love the feta.
Yeah.
It was not my favorite cheese for this.
I also feel like you don't really need it.
Yeah.
Or you don't need much if you do have it.
Well, I guess they're trying to, cut the sweetness, right? But then they added this sesame date thing, which also is going to be sweet. So they could play around with a little bit more. I did like the quinoa. I love the texture.
Me too.
And the fresh mint. I think I wanted the mint leaves a little bit more torn, personally.
Yeah. I mean, you can see right here in this picture,
It's
that's a full leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been seeing that a lot lately. The full mint leaves. I think people don't like mint as much as like chefs and restaurants think people like mint.
Well, freaking love mint.
Yeah, but like
yeah, I know what you mean.
No one wants a big mouthful of mint. One of those mint leaves is the same size as one of the snap peas. It's not a perfect bite to take one of each.
Yeah. Honestly, it's bigger.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'd have this over the cauliflower. We didn't order the cauliflower, but I'd much rather have this to pair with. It just seems lighter. It seems more summer.
Yeah, it definitely
seems
summer.
Although, this is definitely more of a spring dish, I would say, than a summer dish. I think that they could probably add a little bit more of a summer element to it. But I thought it paired nicely. I thought it was a good, tasty side. It was prepared really, really well.
Yeah.
And that was it for our savory stuff. And we somehow still had a little bit of room for dessert. Because this is a huge dessert menu. Usually,
it really is.
Like lately, we've been seeing a dessert menu that's either like one thing to 5 things max, right? You're not seeing a lot of dessert menus with, what do we have? Like almost 10 different items.
Yeah,
There's a lot of ice cream, but still, this is a sizable dessert menu.
I'm noticing recently that we're seeing ice cream more as its own dish, like more focus on ice cream as a dessert rather than it used to be, you have a vanilla, you have a chocolate, maybe one other thing, just like if someone doesn't like anything else on the menu or for kids, but it's becoming its own production, like its own spotlight.
Yeah. I think a lot more restaurants are incorporating some sort of ice cream program. There's not a lot of waste involved, like you can make the ice cream once a week or once every 3 days, keep it in the freezer. It's a little bit more prep heavy in the beginning, but it can last a little bit longer. So that's helpful. And it's an easy way to incorporate seasonal fruit into your dishes.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm into this trend.
Yeah. We got 2 ice creams. We got the Harry's Berries ice cream with biscuit crumble because we didn't get enough biscuits during the main course. And then saffron ice cream with huckleberry red wine reduction.
Yeah.
Now, we were kind of mulling over some of the other ones. I really wanted the melon sorbet.
That did sound good.
I've never seen saffron ice cream, so I just couldn't leave without knowing whether or not saffron ice cream should be.
Have you never had saffron ice cream?
No.
I am the ice cream part of this relationship.
Please do. Go on.
Saffron ice cream is one of the popular flavors in Persian ice cream shops, of which we have several very famous ones in the city. And now I'm very excited to take you to them.
I can't wait to try them because you don't see it often on a,
No.
regular California menu or
Right.
anywhere else.
Though it is very LA.
Very.
Yeah.
That's why I had to order it.
Yeah. And what did you think?
I don't think it's my flavor of choice for ice cream. I think if you didn't have that huckleberry red wine syrup that they put over it, which was delicious.
I loved that.
You needed it, and every bite with this, it was a perfect pairing. It was delicious, it was refreshing. But the saffron ice cream itself, I was like,
I am blanking on the name of the famous ice cream shop we have here. There's 2 of them, actually. But I remember liking that one a lot. So we'll have to get back to you with a comparison.
Yeah, we're just going to have to go and see if, maybe this one just wasn't for me. But it tasted really like saffron.
Yeah.
It tastes like saffron ice cream.
Yeah. It did feel a little one note to me, and agree with you that the red wine reduction was fantastic. I wish there was more of that. It was, it brought that balance, the sourness to it, which for me, I love the acid. So that was key for me.
One of the other desserts on the menu has the saffron ice cream, and it's the brioche pudding. So it's the saffron ice cream and the huckleberry thing, but there's also brioche pudding and a hibiscus tuile. We thought that was a little heavy for us. We got the saffron ice cream by itself, but I could see it working more once you pair it with other stuff and other flavors and other textures. By itself, I think it's a pass for me, but I don't think I could say anything negative about it. I think ice cream is very much everyone's got their flavor.
I would also say it was a huge portion.
Yeah.
Both of the ice creams were.
I mean, it was $9 for this scoop of ice cream. This was a heavy scoop. This was like a third of a pint of ice cream.
Yeah.
In a cup.
Yeah.
And
it was maybe more. It was probably a half, honestly.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the photo, but it was a big scoop. It was a adult size ice cream scoop.
I know, we kept eating it. It just kept going.
No, we didn't finish it.
No, we couldn't. I thought we were going to, and then it became clear.
The other ice cream, do you want to talk about the other ice cream we got? The Harry's Berries?
The other was the Harry's Berries ice cream, and it was a vanilla, right? It was just vanilla with a strawberry stripe to it.
I think it's just their ice cream base, and then they fold in Harry's Berries puree.
Yeah.
Harry's Berries, by the way, if you're listening and you don't know what Harry's Berries are, they are a local farm in California that is famous for their strawberries. They grow a few other things like tomatoes and zucchini and green beans, but everyone is in line Wednesday in Santa Monica and Saturdays for their strawberries.
Yes.
They are the best strawberry in town.
I wake up at 6:30 on Wednesdays, even if I don't have to, just because I need to get those berries.
They sell out every time.
Yeah. And for good reason.
Yeah.
So with this ice cream, the Harry's Berries was definitely my favorite part. Honestly, the rest of it, the crumble, the biscuit crumble on top, and the other ice cream media, I could kind of leave it. All I really wanted was the strawberry mixed in there. I was kind of expecting, and maybe I didn't read the menu right, but I was kind of expecting a classic strawberry ice cream where you may have chunks of fruit, but it's the whole flavor. The whole ice cream is also strawberry, so the flavor is constant throughout, and that's not what this was.
No, this was strawberry shortcake ice cream.
Yeah.
With Harry's Berries in it.
Yeah.
That's what it was, because it was the biscuit and kind of the cream element, which was the ice cream part, and then the Harry's Berries element, which was folded into the ice cream. So I think the way you're right, the way they wrote it on the menu made it seem like we were getting a strawberry ice cream, and it's not necessarily strawberry ice cream in the traditional sense. I thought it was good. I also look, once you have the biscuits for your appetizer or for your main, whenever you have the biscuits, and if you're coming here and you don't have the biscuits, you're making all the mistakes in the world. These aren't as good as the biscuits on the main menu. They're fine. They're a little, they're taking all their biscuit scraps and making a little crouton out of them.
Right.
And putting it on the ice cream. And I can't hate on it, but It's not as good. Once you've had the real thing biscuits, these are kind of a letdown. The Harry's Berries portion, definitely the best part. But this is strawberry short. If you like strawberry shortcake, you'll like this.
Now, reimagine this dish with fresh, hot biscuits
Mm-hmm.
and a scoop of this
That
on top.
Yeah, I would order that.
That's what I want.
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you need to do is when you get to the dessert portion, order a second order of the biscuits and then order the ice cream and just make your own little biscuit ice cream sandwich.
Honestly, yes.
That's the move.
Yes.
And you can
That's
take
it.
the ham home.
Yeah. And the butter.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, order it. Tell them to box up the ham and the butter and just give me the warm biscuits. I'm going to make my own little biscuit ice cream shortbread thing. Yeah, that's the move.
Oh, that sounds great.
Okay, a reason to go back.
Yeah.
I want to just like touch on this for a second. This coffee that you ordered. You ordered a decaf espresso.
Yes.
And it came in a really comical way.
Yes. It came with a very, very long stir, like wooden stir, like you would get at Starbucks.
Yeah.
But no cream or sugar, which is fine because I don't want that in my espresso. But it was just kind of funny.
You think they forgot? You think that like they normally would bring you milk and sugar with the coffee, but they didn't, and they just gave you this coffee and a stick? Because you don't need a stirrer for espresso if you're not stirring anything into it.
I couldn't say. However, I do want to give my thanks for having decaf espresso.
Mm-hmm.
We have gone to at least like 10 places downtown specifically, and downtown for some reason does not do decaf. They don't do decaf regular coffee, and they do not do decaf espresso. So when our server said they had decaf espresso, I was like, I'm having one of those. And for those who are judging me already, look, if I could drink caffeinated coffee, I would. It tastes better. I get it. I can't. I'll be up literally till the sun comes up. So
yeah, you're definitely team decaf in this house. I cannot say I'm team decaf, but I'm happy you were able to get your fix.
Don't come for me, is what I'm saying.
The internet's going to come for you no matter what. You just invited them to come for you.
Oh, well.
But anyways, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they forgot to give you your cream and sugar. And, you know, this stick didn't just come by itself for no reason.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
For the meal. What did you think about the service?
I loved our server. I thought our server did a great job of managing our table, giving us good recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
The meal didn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really have a whole lot of notes on the service. We didn't wait too long. You know, our drinks were empty. She caught that early. We didn't have to wait long to get a new drink. The drinks came quickly. The food came quickly. There was not really a whole lot of slip-ups on her end, service-wise. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of notes on the service. It seemed like a busy restaurant, but not too crazy. It seemed like a restaurant that's been open for 9 years and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and they had a solid team.
Yeah. All I have to say is our meal felt very smooth. Mm-hmm. So there's no hiccups that jumped out at me.
Yeah. And I think from the opening, like, you know, even like with the host stand and like getting into the restaurant, there was a couple people in front of us. They were kind of busy seating a bunch of people at once. We were early to our reservation by like 20 minutes. They got us sat early, which is nice. Sometimes some restaurants are real sticklers about reservations. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they should be, especially if they're busy. They were luckily able to seat us early. And the entire time eating there felt comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, it didn't feel stuffy. It didn't feel pretentious like some places can feel. It just felt nice. Everyone was very polite, from, you know, the management side of things to the bussers. Everyone did a great job. So, on to the verdict.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to give Manuela 2 taste buds. If you're in the neighborhood, if you're in downtown, you know, if you're at the art district, you're going to a gallery, you're going to a show, whatever the case may be, I think it's a great place to stop in for lunch, for brunch, dinner too. You know, I think early dinner or happy hour, I think it would be great. if you're coming from the west side, if you're visiting from out of town, I don't know if this is necessarily the restaurant for you.
I think if you're visiting, it is a great option for lunch or brunch. If you're
Yes.
staying in downtown and you're looking for an option for that kind of meal, I think it's great for that, especially if you want something healthy, something you can get a balanced meal. You can get vegetables, you can get protein, you can get kind of everything. Honestly, like dinner, that specific area is like this cornucopia of delicious restaurants.
Yeah.
I would probably choose somewhere else for dinner.
Yeah, they have a lot of competition. I've always said that downtown has probably the most concentration of amazing restaurants in Los Angeles. Some of the best restaurants in Los Angeles are in downtown and in the Arts District. And here's the thing. A lot of those restaurants are closed for lunch.
Exactly.
This caliber of restaurant, as far as like the type of food that they're putting out, it's good. It was a little inconsistent at times, but it was flavorful. And it's going to be hard to find that type of a meal that's a little bit more elevated for lunch in the downtown area. So that fits that mold. So if you're already there, stop on in.
Yes.
Get the biscuits. If you're in downtown, just go get the biscuits. Yeah.
Even if you get dinner somewhere else, you could just pop in and just get some biscuits.
Honestly, like I think there was a couple to the right of us, and they had the biscuits and like one other thing and one drink, and they left. And that's the move. If you have a show to go to, pop in there, get a couple biscuits, leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Glass of wine.
Yeah. I thought the wine actually was really nice. Really good selection, and it felt interesting. It, like all the wine that we ended up having was not boring. And so a lot of these places have the kind of the same similar, you know, run of the mill wine.
Yeah.
This place was a little bit more interesting, which was nice. So Manuela, great space, really beautiful. Come for lunch. 2 taste buds. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think that's all.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
And is there somewhere that you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments.